I quit vaping for 6 days. This is what happened. What actually did happen almost straight away is quite weird. But before we talk about that, obviously, vaping is bad. 20.5% of children tried vaping in 2023. 20.5% of children. 11.5% of people who have never smoked cigarettes have tried vaping. And 9.1% of the population are using e-cigarettes. That is the equivalent to 4.7 million people in Great Britain alone. And 31% of those say that they only vape so they can quit. You know, there's still much about vaping that we don't really know. What we do know is that, vaping and cigarettes are terrible for your testosterone, but more significantly, e-cigarettes are terrible for testosterone. Obviously, I'm getting older, so that was a factor for me, and also not being able to breathe. People think that e-cigarettes are safer because they don't contain tobacco or emit tar, for example, but they still contain a lot of the same carcinogens that cigarettes have. You know, you got formaldehyde for one, there's a few others. So it's really, they're just as bad as each other. They're just as bad as each other. And I found quitting cigarettes is probably easier than quitting vapes. You know, cigarettes smell disgusting. They taste disgusting. You know, you can smell when somebody's had a cigarette. It's disgusting, it's just horrible. But vapes are completely different. They smell really good and they taste really good. When I switched to vapes, I would just vape in my car going to places. Normally I wouldn't even smoke in my car because it makes your car smell. Vaping, I was just vaping away. You know, obviously I've been on self-improvement for a couple years now, and I've been sober from alcohol and substances for a couple of years. And smoking is just that one thing that, has really clung on. So I've wanted to quit for some time and I feel like the time is right. I was someone who, growing up, I saw my parents smoking and I was absolutely disgusted. Like I would always, call them out on it, and I'd be like, oh, I'm never going to smoke. I'm never going to smoke. And then for whatever reason, some people, you go to school, it's peer pressure. You want to feel involved in certain groups. You don't want to feel like the odd one out, and you try smoking. My first cigarette was an embassy cigarette. We were playing in like a derelict building, and that was the first cigarette that I got. And what starts off as something light-hearted and fun, or you get a little head rush or whatever, and you're joking around with friends. Before long, it forms a habit, and then you can't stop. And I'm 41 years old. I think I was probably 11 when I tried that cigarette. I think by the time I was 14, 15, I've been smoking every single day. I've had bouts where I've not smoked. Times when I've been training for a fight or something like that. I was able to use nicotine replacement, but smoking has always been an issue. And recently I've really felt it in my breathing. Times where like I try to do like a deep breathing meditation, I could just feel my lungs like really shallow. And when like you've trained for a semi-pro fight, do you know what I mean, and you felt yourself at like a peak level of fitness, and like the way your body feels, the energy that you have, the clarity of your thoughts and stuff like that. Once you've had that, and then you go back to vaping or smoking, and you can just feel that you're not at your optimum. If you're anything like me, it will start to eat you up after a while. So I thought the time is right to try and stop vaping. I'm not, unfortunately, stopping nicotine. I'm going to be using nicotine lozenges to aid the process a little bit. So what actually happened? Well, the first 24 hours, I kind of felt like I had like a ball in my chest. And kind of my thoughts were like a little bit haywire. It was really hard to concentrate on anything. But it wasn't too bad, all in all. I took a herbal night owl to help me sleep on the first day. On the second day, the cravings seem to be worse for whatever reason. I've still been going to the gym and praying and meditating in the morning. But yeah, for some reason, day 2 was worse than day 1 in terms of the craving. And then something strange happened. I got ill. It's like my body, it's like I took something, it's literally like I was dope sick or something. Because I stopped vaping and I got ill straight away. My body is like, it was like it was strung out for a fix. And I've had like the worst sore throat, you know, cold, like flu symptoms, a little bit of weakness and tiredness. I thought that was strange. So I don't know what's in these vapes that, you know, would make me feel that way. But I did find that very, very strange that as soon as I quit, I become ill. But now it's been like 6 days. And it's got a lot easier as time's gone on. You know, I still had the odd thought today for a vape, but it was, you know, nothing crazy. It is what it is. I've not, after night 1, I've not taken any herbal nitols. And yeah, I've been sleeping fine. Generally, when I try to go to sleep, because I do so much in the day and I train really hard, like when my head touches the pillow, I'm straight out. But, you know, we forget how the fact that so many young people are trying vaping is quite shocking. You know, I've got a son, he's 12 years old, and there's kids in his year, do you know what I mean, that are vaping, you know, destroying their lungs before they've even had a chance to fully develop, you know. And I felt like a fraud. Like, how can I have a self-improvement YouTube channel and vape? It just doesn't really, what kind of mixed message is that? You know, there's an argument to say, you know, I used to be an alcoholic and a drug addict and whatever. I used to smoke 40 cigarettes a day and now I'm just vaping a little bit. It's still an improvement, but I can't carry on forever. And if I'm going to stop one day anyway, why don't I just stop now? What's the point in carrying it on? And I want to be able to breathe. My breathing has improved so much in the last 6 days. You know, I took it for granted, being able to breathe a full lung of air. You know, I don't judge anyone. What you want to do with your body is your choice. But if you want to know the answer to things, you have to ask the questions. Basically, try it for yourself. And if you don't feel better, you can leave a comment.